support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
No, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say. Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
Whew. This woman, this MAGA TikToker, was on Piers Morgan, and I cannot believe this, y'all. I was agreeing with Piers Morgan in this interaction, and what they are discussing is this woman named Shiloh. I want to make sure I get her name right because everyone should know this woman. Her name is Shiloh Hendricks. Shiloh Hendricks, who called an autistic black child the N-word repeatedly at the playground. So I'm actually going to show you this clip because we have not talked about this on the channel. I think, honestly, sunlight is the best disinfectant when it comes to darkness. So let's look at this. Let's discuss it. I'm going to bleep it. I am going to tell you that it is difficult to watch, but I do want to stress that this is definitely very offensive. I don't know. Pick whatever you want. Okay.
You call him the child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
Fuck you,
Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a.
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
So then after that happened, which is so disturbing, right? I honestly felt like we could all agree on at least this one thing, that calling a child the N-word, not good. Shouldn't do it. I kind of felt like maybe that is the one thing Democrats, Republicans, Independents could all agree on, is that it's a step too far to use that word ever, and especially towards a black child. But this is where it gets really disturbing and crazy, is that after this happened, Shiloh Hendricks created essentially GoFundMe, a fundraising website called Give, Send, Go, titled Help Protect My Family, saying her address and personal details had been leaked and that she and her children had received threats. Within days, the fundraiser had collected more than $700,000 in donations, more than double the donations that a fundraiser for the child raised before it was closed. The incident has ignited debates about racism, free speech, online harassment, and how crowdfunding sites are used in the wake of controversial incidents. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely despicable. I've never even heard of Give, Send, Go, that they would take money for something like this and that they would basically profit off of it. And it's doubly offensive that we have people who are funding racism. Let's just call it. That's what they're doing. And in order to get past the filters they've been saying things like the person who donated was Nate Higgers or Nuck Figures. So you can understand what they're actually trying to say. Or Fenty Floyd instead of George Floyd. So it's not like these are nice people donating to Shiloh. And these are the worst of the worst who are raising money for this woman. And it's a thing that is called, and I hadn't heard this before, vice signaling. So the conservative movement has a twisted version of what they call virtue signaling, where they accuse Democrats or liberals or progressives of defending minorities or being out there in a way that helps protect the most vulnerable among us, but they think that we're doing it just to get bonus points. It's called virtue signaling. Well, this is vice signaling. And what that is the conservative movement's twisted mirror image of virtue signaling, where people donate money specifically to show support for reprehensible behavior. And the interesting thing about this is that it's actually created a huge fissure in the Republican Party, because Ben Shapiro came out against this. Rightly so. Rightly so. Good for you, Ben. Here's a little bit of what he said.
Calling a little black kid the N-word, I think we can agree, is a bad thing to do. Okay, now, if you have trouble with that statement, that calling a little black kid the N-word is a bad thing to do, I'm not sure why. That seems totally uncontroversial to me. Like, whether you have broader concerns about racialized language in America, I don't see the necessity for having a debate over, for example, the use of the N-word in rap music, which is terrible, in order to say that it is bad for an adult white woman to call a 5-year-old kid the N-word.
It's pretty self-explanatory. I think most people can agree with this, but this is the thing. MAGA is not most people. And what's really interesting is that far-right commentator Matt Walsh, who works for Ben Shapiro, said this: I'm glad she raised $500,000. I hope she raises $1 million. Yeah, so perhaps not surprising, still shocking that Matt Walsh would say this. And what, again, is not shocking or not surprising, but shocking is this woman literally admitting on live TV that she is a racist. And I'm not being hyperbolic. That's exactly what happens. Watch this.
You would?
I do, quite frankly.
You use the M word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the M word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
Well, do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
Facts. And I just want to let you all know, Piers Morgan, I can't believe I was agreeing with him, but if there's one thing I'm going to agree with him on, it's the fact that maybe being a racist is awful, and anyone who who promotes the fact they're racist should be shamed and shunned out of polite society. But this is not her first time doing this. Lily Gaddis has used the N-word on TikTok. She got fired from her job. And because of that, she became a right wing celebrity because she got canceled, in other words, held accountable for her actions, and then got attacked by the right because they thought she was Jewish, which is just a real head scratcher there. But and then they say, what a pathetic loser. And I gotta agree. She is pathetic. This whole thing is pathetic. It's extremely sad that this is where we are as a society. It is hopeful, I guess, that we do have people like Ben Shapiro and Piers Morgan on the right who are pushing back on this. But the fact that there's enough people that want to donate their money to someone who used one of the worst things you can call a black person to a black child is despicable. And it just goes to show how far we've fallen and how far we have to go to fix this. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like on the video. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.